Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first race for the SGP 5 Sailplane race 2015. With us, Rodrigo Lavanderos.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, followers from Europe and North America and South America, we are now transmitting, broadcasting from Itacura Airfield, the first day, race one, the Grand Prix in Chile. Today the weather is not good. The director give to the competitors a very short task. Fortunately, the clouds move to the south, and we have the chance to start the race now. We have the spider track device to follow the race. Now the competitors crossed the start line a few minutes ago, and you can follow the race north from now. The task is a short task, approximately 161 kilometers north. To the first point is La Trucha, 31 kilometers north from Vitacura Airfield. Then go back to South Santa Martina, 20 kilometers south, and then go back to El Cobre, 34 kilometers north. Then go back to El Abanico Hill, 58 kilometers south, and then go back to 3K and finish at Vitacura. Competitors for today are Alejandro Chanes, Arturo Díez, Thomas Gosner, René Vidal, Hans Weiner, Jürgen Wenzel, and Ginta Sube. Carlos Roca is flying too, but the device is not working, and we will imagine where he's flying now. We have another competitor, Nicolas Becerra. He landed a few minutes ago, and he will not participate today. As I told you, the weather conditions are not good. We have the influence of El Nino. It's a met condition in the Ocean Pacific that produce a lot of humidity that go to the east, to the mountains, and produce a very cloudy day. Fortunately, at 2 p.m., the director and pilots decide to start the task because the weather improve, and they will try to get the first point to La Trucha. We can see on the screen, Alejandro Chanes is now in Manquehue Hill, close to the airfield. Jürgen Wenzel is flying a little west. Hans Weiner and Thomas Gosner and Arturo Diez are now trying to go to north to the next valley, Chicureo Valley, trying to get some thermals over there. The top pilots told us that there are a lot of clouds in that area in the Chicureo Valley, but they are moving to the east and giving the pilots the chance to try to go north to the next point, La Trucha. In this area, called Los Potreros, we have many places where you can get a thermal. This is Camino Juan Pablo II to cross from La Dehesa to Chicureo. Well, as I told you, this is area called Los Potreros. Is crossed by a road called Camino Juan Pablo I, and they must go through this flat area to the next ridges. But they are flying very close together. Probably there are some cumulus there. We can see Hans Weiner, René Vidal, Arturo Díez, Ginta Sube, and Thomas Gosner flying thermal. This is a ridge very close to El Manquehue, maybe 1 kilometer north from the start line, or 2 kilometers. And let me check the altitude. (1800 meters) is a good altitude to fly there. Probably there are weak thermals, and they are trying to gain some altitude to cross this valley and go to the next ridges, to the El Gordo area. The base of the clouds are approximately at 2,000 meters QNH. That means in that area 500 meters above the ground. The strategy for a day like today is try to keep altitude probably very close to the base of the clouds, and try to cross the valleys to La Trucha. It's very close place, but considering the weather of today, it's a challenge to go there. They need to cross at least 3 valleys to get the next point. This point is La Trucha, the first point of the task. They are now at least 25 kilometers, and they need to cross this valley. Here they have a gate in El Laboratorio, then they must cross the Colina River, then gain altitude again in El Maraco Hill, then go to the La Trucha, and back to next point, Santa Martina. It's a golf camp in this valley, and they go to El Cobre. In the first official training day, the pilots went to do the El Cobre very, very low, like Thomas Gosner and Ginta Sube, and René Vidal and Carlos Roca flew very close to the ridges, a little higher than the other pilots, and the strategy was very good. So we think that they will try to follow the same strategy, that is, cross this Colina River, go La Trucha, go back to Santa Martina, approximately 20 kilometers, and go back to La Trucha, and then follow the ridges very, very fast as they can, and go back to El Abanico. This is El Abanico. It's a hill, a very high hill, approximately 2,500 meters in the middle of the Santiago city. Here is the Santiago City Valley, and there are very good ridges. Now we are observing the clouds are more high than when the pilots start the race, and we presume the conditions will be improving minute by minute. So the strategy is very important. So they keep altitude, but they must fly very fast to have the chance to win the race, because the task is very short. So the pilot will keep altitude and combine with high speed, probably will win the race and the other pilots will not have the chance to fly or reach probably the leader of the race. Unfortunately, we don't have the device of Carlos Roca, and we don't know where he's flying now. Probably is flying close to Rene Vidal and close to Thomas Gosner. Now they are flying, as we presume, crossing the ridges to trying to get the first hotspot called El Laboratorio. This is a very good place to catch thermals and continue the flying to the north. This is the Colina River, and this is El Maraco Hill. Let's check the altitude of Thomas Gosner. (1700 meters QNH) is the same altitude of the official training day. Probably Thomas Gosner will try to follow the same strategy, but probably he will try to change the way that he followed the first day and try to use the ridges used by Carlos Roca and Rene Vidal to win the first official training day. Let's check the pack, how it's working. Alejandro Chanes is in the last position, then Jürgen Wenzel. Arturo Diaz is flying in this point, Hans Weiner and René Vidal. Thomas Gosner and Ginta Sube is quiet, close to the next point. They are making some Well, this is very interesting. Thomas Gosner and Ginta Subi are making very interesting decisions to cross very slow to Marago Hill, and they did not try to gain altitude in El Laboratorio. The traditional and way to continue north. Um, this is interesting because probably they are flying with low base clouds, and they are using that lift to keep altitude and go fast north. Let's check the altitude of Quinta Sube. 1700 meters. It's very good altitude to continue north. And if they have clouds, it's a very good altitude to continue. Let's check Thomas Gosner. Thomas Gosner is flying very close to the ridges and using exactly the same altitude, 1700 meters. It's a very good strategy, and the rest of the pack is a little far to north to the next point. Okay, now we are back. This is the first day, first race in the Sailplane Grand Prix in Vitacura, Chile, 2016. Now we are transmitting from Vitacura Airfield, the first race. The Met for today uh, is not the best for this competition, but the pilots wait for good conditions, and the director decide, Alfonso Soto decide to launch the task at approximately 3 p.m. and the start line was open at 4:15 p.m. They are making a very short task. The first point is La Trucha, is approximately 31 kilometers north. Then go back to Santa Martina. It's a golf camp close to Santiago, 20 kilometers south, and then go back to El Cobre, 34 kilometers north, and then go back to El Abanico in the middle of the city of Santiago, and then go back to 3K and the final line to Vitacura. Now we have in the screen a Ginta Sube close to the first point, so he's flying a little low. Let's check the altitude. It's at 1700 meters. It's good altitude. Probably he's trying to surround the ridge to find some gate to go to the next point, to La Trucha. This is a very interesting point because normally we have here south wind. South wind is very good with the ridges, but we have some ridges east-west that produce strong wind, on this side, but in the other side produce strong descent. So the pilots must be very careful to cross in incorrect gate, and they will probably face some turbulence and descent to avoid to reach the point. The point is not low; it's a little high. So uh, eh, the strategy is reach the point, but at the correct altitude. So some pilots, like Gintas, with bad luck, they could not reach the point. It's a very narrow circle. Let me check, 500 meters. Yeah, it's yes, 500 meters, and probably he's very fast. Yeah, but it's not enough altitude to reach the point. Let's check the strategy of Gintas to reach the La Trucha. He's climbing now. It's not enough altitude, as I told you. Let's check the strategy of Thomas Gosner. Mm, He's the same. It's the same. He tried to reach the point, but he would not. Probably there are some clouds in this area. Interesting. Let's check the rest of the pack. Um, all the pack is very close to the point. Probably they are designed where they can reach the La Trucha. The normal way is follow the ridge of El Maraco, then cross to next valley, this is a flat valley, and then go to the La Trucha. Hello? Okay, now we are back to the race. We don't know the situation of the clouds here in this area of the first point, La Trucha. So the pilots are flying to the west of the point, and the only explanation is probably there are clouds in this area, and they are waiting for some kind of hole to try to reach the point. The normal way is a little east of the position of them, follow this ridge, and go to the point, and then go back, follow the same bridges. They are trying to, now they are flying this point. Um, this this is the valley. Normally here there are not good thermals the strong thermals are in this area. So they're trying to keep altitude and waiting for the base of the cloud. That is that's my idea. Um, why they did not go straight ahead to the point. We have here Rene Vidal is flying a little low. Let's check the altitude of Rene Vidal. 1300 meters. It's not good altitude to reach the point. He need gain altitude to have enough altitude to go to La Trucha. Um, it's interesting to see the way uh, Rene flew very straight to the north, and he did not try to fly here in Laboratorio. Probably it's very cloudy. That's one explanation of of the of the the track. Let's check rest of the group, the rest of the pack. Alex Chanes. Alex is a real expert in these mountains, um, and he's flying. Follow the same route. He tried to gain some altitude here in El Marago, but he flew to the west, northwest. Um, if Alex Chanes, El Flaco Chanes, is flying here, probably is the only way to reach the point. We observe that he continue north, and probably they are trying to find some gate to go through La Trucha. As I told you, La Trucha is not a low point; it's a high point. You need to have at least 15 or 1600 meters to reach the point. Let's check Alex altitude is 1300 meters. Too low to go to La Trucha. Normally, the south wind produce good lift here. Anyway, they have the an alternative airfield, Chacabuco airfield here in this place. Where is the mouse? It's very close. There's no risk to outlandings here. There's no risk, as I told you, and the only explanation I have now, without information, is very cloudy. This area is very cloudy. Let's check the rest of the group. Very interesting. Quinta Sube now is in the point. So here in the front of the airfield, we have the San Ramon Hill. It's approximately 2,300 meters hill, and the clouds now are almost the 80% of the hill, and the weather is improving minute by minute. So in this point in the north, probably it is the same situation, and they are waiting for the base cloud give them the chance to reach the point. Let's check Thomas Gostner's track.
¿estás ahí? Sí, hola, Manuel. Hola. Oye, que está ahí arriba, un plan de vuelo para un plan de vuelo, para salir de vuelo.
We're waiting for the screen to check if Thomas Gosner. Well, the frequency is 1 minute of the spider device, and we don't know if Thomas Gosner did it. This point is approximately 400 meters. In the altitude QNH here, this is approximately 1700 meters. To reach the point, you need at least 17, 18, 19, or 20, so 20, 100, 2000 meters to reach the point. So if we try to understand the fly, probably Thomas Gosner is trying to gain altitude, enough altitude. He's now at 1800 meters and he needs 2000 meters. Probably the base of the cloud is 1900 meters. So I'm watching now the San Ramon Hill, and the base is now at maybe 1800 meters. Yep. Probably that's the explanation of why he did not reach the point. Let's check the back. This is a short task. The first day, first race in the Sailplane Grand Prix in Chile 2016. The weather was very bad in the morning, and at the middle of the day, the weather was improving. And at the director Alfonso Soto decided to approximately 3 p.m. to make the task, and the start line was open at 4:15 p.m. They are now trying to reach the first point, it's La Trucha, at 31 kilometers north from Santiago. The pack flew very fast to the point, but nobody did the point yet, and I presume it's about the base of the clouds. Probably when the base go up, and okay, Thomas Gosner reached the point. It's reaching now. Let's take it. Wait for the screen. It looks like Thomas Gosner did the first point. The temperature of the day is improving too. We are almost 5 p.m. It's a very special day with very special wet conditions. It's not normal in summer in Santiago, these wet conditions, these met conditions. It's very The morning was very cloudy. Temperature is not normal, it's too low for this season. But the pilots are trying to complete the task. It's 161 kilometers. It's a very short task, but it's a tricky day. Probably who understand the better way to reach the points will be the winner. We have a Ginta Sue flying south. It's 1,800 meters. We don't know if he reached the point. Considering the location and the next point, the second point, I presume he's going back to the airfield. But let's wait for a minute. If Gintas crossed to the next point, that means that he did the point. Let's check the first point. Yes, Gintas did. Now it's going to the second point. Probably Thomas Gostner is in the same route. These ridges are approximately at 1,600 meters. And probably Ginta-Subi is looking for a gate to go to the next point, Santa Martina. Santa Martina is a golf camp very close to Santiago. It's a mountain golf camp. It's a very nice place. It's a very exclusive place. And it's used for the gliders as a waypoint. Okay, I was in the right. Ginta-Sube now he did the first point and now he's trying to reach the second point. And probably now he's trying to gain some altitude. A good altitude here is 17 or 1,800 meters. So that that altitude give the pilot the chance to reach the point and go back to north. Probably follow the same route. Cross La Trucha and go to north to El Cobre. Let's check the rest of the pilots. Thomas Gosner is flying at this point. Let's check if there are some already at 1,700 meters. What happened with Thomas? I think he did the point. Okay, it's okay. Thomas Gosser is now flying to the second point, to Santa Martina. The altitude of Thomas is 1,700 meters. It's a very good altitude. With altitude, he can cross to the next point, as Ginta-Sube did, and reach the second point. I'm looking at San Ramon Hill here close to the airfield, and the base of the cloud is now at maybe 2,000 meters. Probably the same altitude is in this area in Santa Martina and in La Trucha. Probably the way to north will be more fast than the first. Now, Alfonso Soto, the director of the competition, is with me. He was in a lot of activities in the launch and the start activities, and now he's looking at the screen to try to understand the race. Hola, Alfonso.
Hola. Hi. I will be observing for a few minutes what Rodrigo is transmitting, and then later on I will follow with you.
Okay, as I told you, Thomas Gosner is now south to trying to reach the next point, Santa Martina. The altitude is 1,700 meters. I think it's enough to cross the Golina River, and maybe he will try to gain altitude here in El Laboratorio. This is a very good hotspot, but depends on the pace of the clouds. I think the Met is improving minute by minute because here in the close to the airfield we have very few clouds, and the base is higher than 10 minutes ago. Let's take the rest of the pack. Now Ginta Sube did the first point, and Thomas Gosner. René Vidal was flying very, very low, and probably he's trying to gain altitude to reach the first point. Gintas probably did the second point. Let's check the track of Gintas. Effectively, he did the second point. He's making a very good race. Let's wait for the screen. Okay, the Gintas did the second point, and now he's going to north to the second point, El Cobre. Okay, the altitude of Gintas now is 1,700 meters, very good altitude to continue north. And let's check where is Thomas Gosner. Gosner from Italy. Thomas was trying to cross through El Laboratorio. I think he did. And probably now he's trying to gain altitude. We're waiting for the scene. Oh, okay, here's Thomas. Let's wait for the map. He's now at 1,700 meters. He flew a little west. Probably he's a very good point called Piedra del Águila. Probably he's trying to gain some altitude to go try ahead to next point and go back to north. Let's check the rest of the group where they are flying. Arturo Diez is flying to south. We don't know what happened. Oh no, sorry. Arturo Diez now is trying to reach the second point. Let's check the track of Arturo. This is a surprise. It's flying very good. Yes, he did the first point, and now he's trying to get the second point. Altitude, very good altitude, 1,900 meters. Probably Arturo will try to follow the same track of Gintas. And let's check the rest of the pilots. Arturo, yes. Thomas Weiner is flying two. Then Thomas probably is stuck here in Piedra del Águila. And Jürgen Wenzel from Germany is trying to reach the second point. René Vidal. Let's check where is René. Maybe if we. Okay, here's René Vidal. René is flying at 1,500 meters. He's flying low, but he did the first point. We presume he did. Yes, he did. Yes. We don't know where is Carlos Roca because the spider device of Carlos is not function with technical problems. Probably is in is leading the pack, but we don't know. And Alex Chanes probably is flying close to Rene Vidal. Let's check Alex Chanes. Where is he? Okay, here we have the track of Alex Chanes. They're waiting for the screen. Okay, here we have Alejandro Chanes. He's a real expert of the mountains in Chile, but he's now at, wow, 1,200 meters. He's probably close to the valley. Bad luck for Alejandro. Probably he's trying to gain altitude here in these ridges. If he's not, the Chacabuco airfield is very close. It's very safe position. Okay. Alejandro is trying to south now. Altitude is okay. Good altitude, 1,500 meters. In the refresh, he was able to gain altitude and go back to south. He will try again to reach the La Trucha. He was very low here at this point. So it's a safe position because the Chacabuco airfield is very close. It's not a risk to any outlanding here. Well, let's wait for Alejandro, what he will do, and go back to rest of the pack. Okay, Rene Vidal is trying to reach the next point. Probably he's flying in the Chicureo Valley. Here is. He's at 1,500 meters, not enough to cross to Santa Martina. Santa Martina is a golf camp in the middle of the mountains. It's a very exclusive place. So he's in a valley surrounded by ridges. So to cross from Chicureo Valley to Santa Martina from west to east, probably they need 16, at least 1,700 meters. And Rene Vidal is, or probably he's trying to find some gate, but it's not good fly close to the ground here. Probably he's trying to gain some altitude to have enough altitude. I think 1,700 meters is enough to cross from west to east to Santa Martina. Nice. Rene is a little delay. Let's check for the leader. Where is Ginta Sube? Gintas is making a very good race. Now he is north. It's going to north to El Cobre. Altitude 1,400 meters. It's not the best, but it's enough to continue north. The next ridge, this ridge, where is the mouse now, it's a very tricky ridge because probably they have south wind, and if he can find some gate here in this point, he will go through the ridge to the valley of El Cobre and probably reach the next point and go back to the same route. But if he can't find the gate, he will probably surround this ridge And this ridge is good to fly, but there's no good thermals here. They need to fly very, very close to the ridge and gain altitude very slow. So let's check the next of the competitors. Probably Arturo Diez and Thomas Kostner are flying to the north now. Let's check. Arturo probably did the second point. Yes, he's going to north now. And Thomas now is trying to reach the second point. Let's check the altitude of Thomas. That depends the speed from the next leg. He's at 1800 meters. It's good altitude. And let's check Arturo Diez altitude. Arturo is flying now at 1800 meters, the same altitude. Let's check the rest of the competitors. Well, Gintasu is leading the pack. Alejandro Chanes is flying too low, close to La Trucha. He was very close to Chacabuco Airfield. But he did, and he was able to find some thermals and go back to the race. And Arturo Diez is going north now. It's very close to Colina River. Thomas Kostner did the second point and now is going north. René Vidal is flying low here. He could not cross the line of the Chicureo Hills and go to east to Santa Martina Point. Let's check the altitude of René. 1300 meters is not good altitude to continue the race. Probably he's trying to find some thermal here in this area. So it's a very safe place because we have the Chicureo airfield here in this point. It's very close. There's not any risk to any landing. But for the race, sorry, here's René Vidal. He's at approximately 8 kilometers. It's very, very safe, but it's not good altitude to cross to this valley, the valley of Santa Martina, where it's located. It's a tricky point because if you are flying very high, there's no problem. But if you are low, you need to know where there are any pass or gate to cross these ridges and go to the valley. But if you are low here, you can go to the next point because you need to gain some altitude, and probably you need to go to the valley to the south to find some thermal. It's a very tricky point. Okay, now Alfonso Soto will continue the transmission, and see you then. Rodrigo, speaking.
Good afternoon to the international community that's following the Sailplane Grand Prix in Chile. As Rodrigo was explaining earlier, the race today is a rather shorter race, but rather difficult for the met conditions of the day. After heavy rain that we had last night, this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning was still raining. Then we make a bit really to say that we were going to have a race today, and wait up to 2:30 in the afternoon to make the first launch. And after that, we had to make a new First launch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the start of the race was 15 minutes past 4. And this 161 kilometers race is a race for approximately 2 hours because the speeds for the race today are going to be rather low. Then let's follow what's happening with the competitors, and we will see each one. Chanes was in trouble, and now is with a very good altitude at 2100 meters, and he already made then the trucha point, and is going to the second point, which is Santa Martina. This that was going north is at 19,100 meters, almost 2,000 meters, which is also a very good altitude. And he is going now north to El Cobre, which is approximately 45 kilometers away from our airfield. Gosner, on the other hand, is at 1,700 meters, just leaving the Santa Martina point and going north. Vidal, that was in a very big trouble a few minutes ago, is still at almost 1,400 meters now. He is a little better than before, but is still in the trouble that was explaining Rodrigo, that he has to get some more altitude to go from that point to the Santa Martina turn point. Weiner, Hans Weiner, what's going on with him? Oh, Hans Weiner is with problems with his spider truck. And Ginta Sube is now is getting low. He's at 1,100 meters, trying to get the north point of El Cobre. But on the training day, he was flying at the same altitude around the same point, so probably he already knows how to pick some more altitude to continue to the north point here. So the whole picture then yeah, Jürgen Wenzel now also is at 1,800 meters trying to get the Santa Martina point. And on the refresh, he just got it. He just got the Santa Martina turn point, which is a tricky point that was explained by Rodrigo. And from the Santa Martina, now he will start going north 45 kilometers up to El Cobre. We are looking now at the track of Alex Chanes. He is at 1700 meters, but he has not done yet the Santa Martina point. I don't really know why he didn't go from his track to Santa Martina to go back north. He's getting very close to the Vitacura airfield. So we will see later on what he's trying to do. Arturo Diaz is still going north. He is close now to the Trucha point, that was the first point, and from there he will have to continue north. He is now at 1700 meters, just in the Trucha area. So he already know how that area was working previously, and from there he will try to go northward to the El Cobre turn point. Ginta Sube, that was flying very close to the El Cobre turn point, Ginta is still at 1100 meters. And at the same distance that was previously to the northern turn point. So he is in trouble around that area, and we will see in the next few minutes how is he doing and if he's able to get the El Cobre turn point. Jürgen Wenzel is now going back from Santa Martina to the hot point that was previously flying at 1700 meters now to continue north. Vidal is now at 1500 meters, so he finally got more altitude close to the Potreros area, and from there now he will try to go to the Santa Martina turn point before he continue north. So he is still on the race. Let's see what happened with Gosner, that was doing very well, and Gosner is now at the Colina River, just already crossed the Colina River, and he will continue now, probably following the same track that he follows previously to the Trucha area before he continue north. Arturo Diaz, on the other hand, he already left the area of Trucha at 1600 meters, which is enough altitude to continue north to the turn point. But he has two alternatives. One is following by inside of the ridges, trying to get the higher ridges if the cloud base allows for us, and if not, he will have to do the same track of Ginta Sube through this ridge here, that it depends on the direction of the wind. He will have enough height to go to the turn point. but we will see that he is already at 1,600 meters, continuing north and directly to the turn point. But he is 500 meters above in Tasube, so he would probably get over the top of these ridges that I am showing now to continue to the El Cobre turn point. Because if we compare with Gintas-Sube, Gintas is now at 13. He was at 11. Yeah, and now it's at 1,300 meters. He's just getting higher now. And with that 1,300 meters, he will be able to make the turn point and go back. So Gintas is still doing a good race as compared with the others. Let's see the whole picture again. We see that Chanes has come back to Vitacura. So let's see the track. It seems that he abandoned the race. Even if he has good altitude previously, yeah, he was at almost 2,000 meters. So I don't understand why he abandoned the race and came back to Vitacura. We will ask him later to know what happened to him. So on the race, we still have okay, now we have the whole picture. Remember that we don't have in the screen that Carlos Roca, that he has some technical problems with the spider truck. And so we will see what happened with that fixture to see that tomorrow it will be available to be on the screen. So we still have on the race, Gintas-Sube, Arturo Diaz, Gosner, Wenzel, and Vidal. And Chanes already abandoned and he is back in Vitacura. Let's see now if Gintas-Sube has already made the northern turn point. It seems that he's still working to do it. Yes, he got a hot point here on the area that I'm showing. And first of all, he was at 1,100, then 1,300, and now he is 1,500. So he's very patient to work that work point, getting the most altitude that he can before he goes to the turn point to ensure that he is going to be able to go back south. Arturo Diaz, that was the next one that was closer to the northern point, is flying at 1700 meters and still on the north area of Trucha, before he make the decision to continue north to the El Cobre turn point. The next one that was going north was Thomas Gosner, and he's still working on the area of Maraco before he goes to the Trucha area and continue north. So that's are the positions so far. Jim Tatsube, Arturo Diaz, and Thomas Gosner, and we don't know what happened with Carlos Roca because we don't have him on the screen. René Vidal, let's see if he already made the point. Yes, Vidal already made the turn point of Santa Martina, and he is now at 1500 meters back to the area of Potreros before he continue north again. It has been today really a short race, as I explained before, but it's been a difficult race because of the meteorological conditions of the day. We have two problems. The temperature is not getting high. We have only 24, 25 degrees C, but with the sounding that was very cold, so there is energy, some energy to work out, but also the cloud base was very low. But it seems that on the pre-mountains, where is the area that are flying today, the cloud base is higher right now. So the main problem could be that there is not enough energy to get high enough to make a faster race. Jurgen Wenzel is ahead of René Vidal. He already made the Santa Martina turn point, and he is almost on the same area of Thomas Gosner, but a little west of Thomas. If we see the whole picture, we will see yeah, and we will see that Wenzel is in the area of Termas de Colina, getting a little higher. He already crossed the Colina River, and he continued north. And Gosner is now leaving the Maraco area up to the area of La Trucha. He already went there earlier, so he already knows how this area is working. And if we see his track, yeah, as I was explaining previously, it seems that the cloud base now is higher because in the first track, when he went to the Trucha, you can see this track. He was low in this area because of the cloud base until he finally got the Trucha. And from the Trucha, he went back. Yeah, he went back to Santa Martina following the track that I am showing now. And now, when he is going back north, he is getting now inside, more inside in the pre-mountains. So he is now with some more energy, and the cloud base is allowing him to fly a little higher to go north. So the day, it seems that is getting better and better during the day. So now we hope that all of them will be able to get the cover turn point before they go back south. Let's see what's going on with Arturo Diaz. Yes, he is now at almost 2,000 meters high. So from there, he will be able, as I explained you before, with that altitude that he was getting on the area that I am showing, he was able to get over the ridges. And once he get over these ridges, now he got the hot spot on the place that I am showing now, and he is getting 2,000 meters. And with that altitude, he of course will be able to make the the north point. And Ginta Sube was also getting higher, and let's see what happened with him. Yeah, so we can see that now Gintasu is flying at 1,600 meters, and he already made the El Cobre turn point. He is still then flying on the first place and flying now faster and higher, following the ridges of the interior of the Prix mountains. See, he went by outside, he made the point at a good altitude at 1,600 meters, and now he is going back following the ridges, and these ridges work much better than the outside part. But now, since as I explained, that the cloud bases are a little higher, he is able to follow the ridges on the inside and to continue south to the El Abanico. And from there, he will have to fly from the north point to El Abanico, about 60 kilometers distance. That's the distance from the north point to the south point, El Abanico. Let's see what happened with Arturo Diaz. That was the second one on the screen. He has not made yet the northern point, and he is at 2,000 meters, still flying 2,000 meters here, and but he has not made already the decision to continue to the turn point to follow the same track that Ginta Sube is doing. And Thomas Gosner, on the other hand, let's see what's going on with him. He already passed the Trucha turn point, and he is following north, the same track as Arturo, and he is at 1,800 meters, almost on the same area as Arturo. So Thomas Gosner is getting closer and closer to Arturo, and probably if he made a good race, he will overpass Arturo before he makes the northern point. Let's see what happened with Vidal. On the other hand, remember that he was more late on the race, but he is now going north from after he made the turn point. Santa Martina turn point. He is going north, and he is now flying at 1,500 meters, which is not very high, but is enough to continue north. So he will have to go to the area of La Trucha and then following north. That's the situation of Vidal. Jürgen Wenzel, on the other hand, is closer to the Trucha as René, and following also at 1,500 meters. So let's see the whole picture. And for the ones that has not followed the transmission from the beginning, today we had difficult met conditions. Last night we had a very heavy rain, which is completely unusual for Santiago during our summertime. But because of the Niño phenomena, we have had a lot of humidity and a very unusual rain at this time of the year. During this morning was still raining, and so we had to wait very late to start up the race. This was a race that started up at 15 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. It's a 161 kilometers race, and only on our what we call our pre-mountains, because the high mountains there was no energy on one hand to go into the mountains, and also the cloud base was very low today. But now it's 4:38 minutes past 5, and over Santiago now we are a very clear sky with just some clouds, with some cumulus around here, and on the mountains we are looking now very heavy cumulus clouds, but at the interior of the mountains. On the pre-mountains, we know we are not seeing now too much clouds, and the gliders are flying at most 2,000 meters at the most. Okay, so now we can see that Quinta Subis is coming back from there. Arturo Diez is still on the same area. Now he's getting close to the north turn point, followed by Gosner, and Sube is already coming back from the north point. Wenzel is at the latitude of La Trucha, going north, and Vidal is also going north in the back of the screen. And as I explained before, we don't know what's going on with Carlos Roca, another local pilot, because his spider truck has some technical problems today, and we have not him on the screen. So let's see the track of Arturo Diez, which it seems to be the second today in this race. Yeah, he is going now. Now this is Gosner. Gosner is still going to the north point. And this is at almost 2,000 meters. He already made the turn point, and he's beginning to start going back south, and he will probably do it by the ridges. No, it seems that Arturo Diaz has not made yet the turn point. He's he went to the high ridges, and from that ridges he is now still going to the turn point, but he has not made it yet. And let's see what Thomas Gosner is doing. And Thomas Gosner passed over Arturo Diaz because he has already made the turn point and going back south, starting going back south. So far, what we see on the screen, Inta Subi is on the first place, Thomas Gosner is now on the second place, and Arturo Diaz, it seems to be on the third place, starting to go to the turn point yet. Okay, Arturo Diaz has already made also the north turn point, and he will make a race now back south together with Thomas Gosner just following him behind. That will be very interesting to see what happened during the next minutes. Gosner is, we can see now that Gosner is ahead. Okay, what we see in the screen now, Gosner is ahead of Arturo Diaz going back south. Benzel is still on the area of at the northwest of the Trucha area, and Ginta Sube is coming back south on the same area. And okay, we have now a new refresh, and we can see that Benzel is a little norther of La Trucha, northwest of La Trucha, and Ginta Sube is at the southwest of La Trucha, but going south. Wenzel is still going now, going north. And Vidal is also arriving to the Trucha area, going north. So Sube is making a very good race today. Sube has to fly still about 40 kilometers to arrive to the south point now. Let's see what's going on with Diaz and Gostner. Now we can see now that Arturo Diaz and Gostner are flying exactly the same place. Okay, we had a new refresh, and we can see that Gostner now is ahead of Arturo Diaz. Yeah, Gostner is about 3.5 kilometers ahead of Arturo Diaz right now. Let's see what's going on with Jürgen Wenzel. Jürgen is at a good altitude. It's 1,800 meters, so he is already over the ridges. He is on top of that ridges at that altitude. So from there, he will be able to go probably straight forward to the turn point. And if he doesn't get enough altitude, he will have to go to previously to these ridges that I am showing you now before he go to the turn point. Vidal, let's see what's his altitude. He is flying at 1,600 meters. At the north of La Trucha. So he will follow, instead of going on top of these ridges, he doesn't have enough altitude to get on top of that. So he will follow these ridges, and from this point, okay, he already decides to follow the ridges to the west. And on that point, he will have to get higher to continue to the turn point. But he is already now at 1,500 meters, which is not too bad, but it's not too good too. And Wenzel, on the other hand, that he was western of La Trucha, he is already now on top of that ridges at 1,800 meters. And at that altitude, as I said before, he will be able to go to the north turn point. Ginta Sube. He is flying now at 1,600 meters going south. He is on the area of Morocco at 1,600 meters. He still has to cross this river here, which is Colina River, before he goes to probably the area of North Laboratory that I am showing now, and from there to continue south. When he goes south, he still has to come up to the area of La Dehesa, even going through these ridges on the east side, or if not, going back to the Manquehue area, and from there he will have to go and cross the Mapocho River Valley before he goes to the El Abanico turn point that I am showing you now. And from the Abanico, once he has the Abanico turn point, he will be only at 14 kilometers from for the end of the race. This is a 3K alignment turn point, and this is at 3 kilometers from the Vitacura, which is the end of the race. So he still have to make some work, but he's doing well, flying almost at 1700 meters, and we will see in the next minute if he already decided to cross the Colina River, which it seems that he is going to do. We still don't have the refresh to see what Intasube is doing. Well, let's see the whole picture and see what's going on with the others. Sí.
antes estándar más o menos 3. Hay planeadores desde San Ramón para Alvarado, 5 minutos, o sea, son las chicas de la cuadra de Calama. Leider Gott damit Rapid.
Hello, everybody. In this moment, the competitor Jurgen Wenson is finished the race and only need for finish the race Rene Vidal. In this moment, we can see to Rene Vidal in the wave for the point Las Vizcachas. Rene is very near to the Las Vizcachas point. Before that, we can go to the 02.3K. They need to have a minimal altitude for come back to the last one point. And in this moment, they have. In this moment, Rene passed the point Las Vizcachas and initially the coming back to the last 1.3K. In this moment, Rene is very near to the last one point, and he have a minimal altitude, one speed very fast. In this moment, Rene Vidal is on the last 1 point, and they have a minimal altitude and very, very fast. In this moment, he is in the final, and in the near moment, we can see on the piece. We can see to Rene Vidal in the final to the final to the way to fight in this moment. He come to a very, very fast velocity. He is the last one competitor today to finish the race. Just in this moment, we can see to Rene Vidal in the on the way and finish the race. This is all for the race today, and in some moment we publish the final points to this race. Thank you to everybody for talk about us. See you tomorrow.